part of the game. It's a rich thing.
Podcast video, just another very interesting video today. I saw this interview take place, man, and I knew it was something I had to react to, mainly because it was just something we talk about so frequently on our channel. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, there is no GOAT. It's all based on error. It's all based on preference. And I think this is going to be a great example of why that statement is true. But before we get started today, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you have not done so already. We are grinding 20K. We are getting close. We're eking there slowly. We're at 15K now, getting close to 16K. We appreciate all the support thus far. Again, man, this has been a great 5 months for FYF Sports, man. We're continuing to grow. We look forward to the next 5 months. And we look forward to celebrating when we reach our milestones. So again, the big milestone is 100K. The next small goal is 20K. And as we get there, as we grow, we're going to continue to give back to the community in any way that we can. But today again, we got a very interesting video. The video is conducted. It was actually conducted on another show that I love to watch. It was a show called $1 Million Worth of Game. All right, and so this interview is conducted on a great podcast that I love to watch called $1 Million Worth of Game. The guest on the show was Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace, great basketball player, played at the University of North Carolina, came into the NBA, was one of the most tenacious power forwards that we saw play. He came in the 90s. Played through the 2000s, so he saw a number of guys. He played against the Michael Jordans, he played against the Kobe's, Scottie Pippens, players of that ilk. So he has a lot of experience with the game of basketball. And like I said before, I like hearing everyone's opinion on this particular topic. When we start talking about the GOAT, who's the GOAT? And I've said multiple times before, there is no way you can have a set GOAT, because it's going to change based on error. It's going to change based on preference. It can also change based on your style of play. And, we know the type of player that Rasheed Wallace was. He was hard-nosed. He was physical. He was he didn't back down from no one. He would get in your face if necessary. He was always known as a great teammate. So that's the type of guy that you're dealing right there. Somebody who, when you talk about, and this term is thrown around a lot, you're talking about getting it out the mud. He's one of those guys that really got it out the mud, and it really doesn't have anything to do with staying on one particular team. When you're in the NBA, you can't control if you leave in free agency or if you get traded. This guy got traded a lot, but regardless of what team he played for, he always maintained a reputation that he was going to come out and be there for his teammates. So what I wanted to get to is, I want to get to the portion of the interview where they specifically asked him about his top 5 players ever. And not just his top 5 players ever, but why he feels who he selected as the GOAT is the GOAT. And his answer may surprise you. But let's go ahead and get to the video.
You got an NBA legend. I'm going right into it. You had to pick a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who your team? Who the team?
Me.
Who your team?
Personally cheering for?
No, I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no one team. I'm talking about you picking individual players from whatever leagues. I mean, whatever eras.
Wow, man. Shit. Wow. That's wow.
I know LeBron on there. I know Mike on there.
Off the fly, for me again. Here we go.
Let me move this up.
Of course, I'm biased, because I'm a big man. So for me, I would guess if I'm picking a team, I'm gonna go big everybody. Point guard, if I had to pick a big team, it would be Magic. If I had to pick a big team at a 2 guard, it would be somebody like Alex English. if I had to pick a 3, for me, I'm showing a little, again, bias and favoritism because I grew up in Philly. Doc is always going to be, for me, in my top 5 anything because he got me like in basketball, you know what I mean? And then for me, my 4 and 5 would be Kareem and Wilt. That's my big team.
How you would say LeBron and Mike?
We'll dust
They
y'all
too
right
little.
the fuck off. We'll dust y'all off. My
They too
top 5
little.
would dust your top. Who's your top 5 favorite players?
Who's your top? Who would you say? Who's your top 5?
Okay.
Who would you match against that team right there? I said.
Oh,
They
at
got
that
a
time,
shot.
first of all, that team ain't got
Okay,
no sugars
who's your
on that
point?
motherfucker.
Who's your point?
My point guard, without a doubt, is going to be.
I play point sometimes.
Whoever you gonna name ain't too little. The only other cat.
It's going to cancel out. It's going to cancel out.
The only other
I
cat
put
you can name
LeBron
as
at
far
the
as
point.
but he's not a point.
I put Jordan at the 2. I put Kobe at the 3. I put Shaq at the 5. Shaq gonna dunk them niggas in the court.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know.
I'm talking about a young Shaq.
Okay, but
talking about the
if you-
Diesel.
So I ain't talking about no old ass players myself. I'm talking about in their primes too.
Shaq would have
Huh?
dunked them niggas.
Hey man, Wilt Chamberlain would have put Shaq in that bucket too, bro.
But we never seen that from Wilt because Wilt was playing against niggas my height.
True. Same thing with
I
Bill
couldn't
Russell.
guard Wilt.
True.
Right. They was the 2 tallest niggas in the world at the time. Like, everybody
And
else was
then
6'3".
give me a young Lou Alcindor. What? Who got the only unstoppable shot in NBA history? That skyhook.
Man, that's cool. Shaq would have dunked him in there. Shaq would have fouled Kareem out in the first 3 minutes. He'd had 4.5 fouls, man, in the first 3 minutes, man.
Come on, man.
Who's your top 5 players of all time?
Man, I just told you, man. I'm more of a I'm biased because I go with big men.
Okay, so you saying you not picking the real top players? You picking your top players?
Yeah.
Okay,
Who
but you
happen
know
to be
but
they
you
not
know
the real
top-
players?
No, but you know they ain't the top 5 all time.
Why aren't they?
What?
Who's
You ain't got Mike in
dog,
top.
who's better than Kareem?
Mike,
How? Why?
LeBron.
What makes them
Hold
better
up,
than
hold up.
Kareem?
Tell him.
What makes them better than Kareem?
Tell me, please.
I mean, Kareem got, as far as the scoring title, Kareem owned that. But Kareem played for 111 years, man.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
Okay, next.
But what I'm saying is, Jordan is the GOAT
What makes him the GOAT?
because he was the greatest to ever do
He's
it.
number one in one category. I give it to him. Tip my hat. 6-0 in the finals. Now that's impressive.
No.
That's
Hold on.
impressive.
Wait.
6-0 in the finals.
Jordan beat niggas' asses so bad that he said, "Man, I'm tired of this shit. You niggas can't beat me, man. I gotta take a break, man. This shit too easy."
Went to
man.
baseball and struck the fuck out.
Right, that's
Next,
cool.
And had to come back.
Because these niggas not a challenge.
I mean,
Like
hey,
you gotta
look,
understand. You know who the happiest nigga?
If you want to say Michael Jordan's the GOAT of being one of the greatest competitors to play this game, I can give you that.
Michael
He's
Jordan's
a killer
greatest
competitor.
basketball ever of all time. That's
How?
It's the greatest basketball player ever
How?
of all
He
time.
He ain't number one in no offensive category. He ain't number one in no defensive category. How? And then if you want to be like, oh, because he won championships, shit. I just named a couple guys who got more chips than
Because the
him.
eyeball test don't lie.
I mean, I'm not denying that Mike wasn't a great player, dog. I'm not denying that.
Okay,
But I'm just
what's
saying,
your top 5?
he wasn't the great. Jabbar is the greatest of all time. This man been retired for damn near like 30 years or more, dog, and his numbers is still sitting up there.
Because he played for 111 years.
It's not my fault.
The nigga was playing in this fucking.
It's not
the
my
NBA.
fault.
Gil. Nobody living for 111 years.
It's
How the
not
fuck
my
you play
fault,
that one?
fam.
No, he's right now. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is 114. What the fuck is he talking about?
You can't play that. You know, I'm just saying.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in fucking flicks with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee been dead.
Yeah.
for
That's why he
60
a legend,
years.
though. That dude adds.
That was the first portion of the video that I wanted to touch on right there. Rasheed Wallace. And what I like about this particular take right here is he's part of the North Carolina family. I mean, he could have easily went with Michael Jordan being the GOAT, primarily because of that connection right there. We know that North Carolina family coming out of North Carolina University is really close knit. He said that his GOAT, greatest player of all time, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I like the question that he posed to Gilly the Kid. The question that he posed to Gilly the Kid was, what makes Jordan the GOAT? And see, we asked that question a lot. We asked that question a lot in our debates. Why and how did Jordan get labeled the GOAT so quickly in his career? You know? Is it just the championships? Is it just the scoring titles? I mean, I want to know what makes Jordan the GOAT over a guy like Kareem who did it for a longer period of time. Kareem was great at a peak longer than Jordan was. And I think that gets overlooked. And I think Rasheed Wallace makes a great point when, you know, obviously the only thing that you can really, and this is what we say about Jordan fans all the time, the only thing that they can heavily rely on when talking about Michael Jordan is they always have to rely on the 6-0 in the NBA Finals, which Rasheed Wallace even admitted that's a great accomplishment. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about basketball, on the offensive end of the court, the defensive end of the court, I mean, the overall stats don't lie. The overall stats, Jordan is not number one. He's not number one in any defensive categories. He's number one in a few offensive categories. So what truly makes him the greatest basketball player of all time without running to 6-0? Because again, if you could conveniently run to 6-0, I can easily do the same thing with Bill Russell and run to his 11-1 in the NBA Finals to just, you know, to easily overcome what Michael Jordan did in the finals. I don't know. It's just something to think about, you know. And this is coming from an older player. This is coming from a guy who played in the 90s, who played against Mike. He saw how great Mike was on the court. He saw how great Kobe was. He saw how great LeBron was. He saw all of this up close and personal. He has a better experience on court with these guys than we will ever have. Like I said, at the end of the day, I have Jordan as my GOAT. But I can admit that there are a lot of biases in my particular opinion. I will admit that. And one of the main biases in my opinion is that I just did not see enough of Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. You know, going back and watching the highlights don't necessarily do them justice, because at the end of the day, those are just highlights. All right. So I think Rasheed Wallace is coming from a different perspective, coming from a perspective basically saying, hey, I watched these guys play as I grew up. I watched these big men build up their games. This is how I developed my game. And I think he has a different respect for those guys like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar than we might actually have. And it's just about actually admitting that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with admitting that. There's biases in every era. Even with the younger guys of this generation who say LeBron is the GOAT. I respect that decision. I respectfully disagree, but I don't have a problem with it because they only can judge basketball based off what they see. I can't expect every young kid to scour through YouTube simply to find highlights of Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, just to make the case that these guys are better than the players that they're actually watching on screen day in and day out. LeBron James, you know, Steph Curry, and these guys. Maybe even Michael Jordan if they're looking, because of the shoes and the nostalgia that surrounds his name currently. You know, so, I mean, like I said, I really appreciate that take that Rasheed Wallace had. I want to hear a little bit more about what he has to say about basketball, what led him to that particular decision. And I like the direction that Gilly the Kid and Wallow are going with this particular conversation. Because once I bring NBA players onto my platform, these are the same types of questions I'm going to be asking as well. You know, difficult questions that's going to make them, you know, make some real decisions. And then we're going to challenge them in that particular way. So I like the direction that they're going with this video. Let's hear a little bit more from this interview before we completely break down everything that he said and go ahead and get to the end of this video.
LeBron James.
In my era, he probably would have done good because with his physical stature, with him being a little bit bigger than a majority of the rest. So he probably would have held his own, but I don't think he would have been as successful as he is now. Like now is, man, you know what I mean? Like he doing it, young boy doing it. You know what I mean? So, but it was a whole different era back then, bro.
So, beast or soft?
I just told you,
Beast. Then
you know, I think he would have held his own. I can't necessarily say he would have been a beast, but I think he would have held his own.
Ray Allen.
Well, Ray played during that era.
Oh my God! This
I just wanted to know personally.
He's in his era. Was Ray Allen a beast or was he soft?
No. Ray Allen was a monster, dog. Ray Allen was a sharpshooter.
Like Kevin Durant.
And in that era, I don't think he would have had too much success. Now he's a monster. In this era, he's a monster, dog.
So you don't think Kevin Durant would have been a beast?
Well, because you got to look at it. Back then, you had a lot more posting. The game was inside out. Now it's outside in. So you got guys out there that's like Rudy Gobert. They not even posting his brother up. Now, granted, he got a little bit of post moves. I mean,
Just a little bit,
he made it this far though, doing these little post moves.
Well, which one is Rudy? What team he played for?
Rudy was the first motherfucker that got corona in the league. Fuck the league up.
No, what's the boy I like? The team that was scoring all them points, scored 50 points.
Oh, you talking about Rudy Tootie Fresh and Fruity ran the jail league?
No, yeah, dude that was playing up.
He loved Fruity Tootie Fresh and Fruity. Nigga ran the jail league.
Fuck out of here. He's a nut. What about my man?
He let the jail league and score.
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green.
Dre, that's my young boy, but he too little.
But is he a beast mode or he soft?
In my era, no, soft.
J.R. Smith.
Too little in my era. God, dog.
But it was 6'4" players in your era.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, look at Mike. Mike is a classic two guard.
Right.
At 6'4", 6'5". But these other cats, here it is now. JR, he's a 2-3. But it's smaller. It was smaller players.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different mindset because, like I said, you started inside out. Yo, if me and you playing, hey, all day, give me that rock right here in this post because I got a mouse in the house, and that was how it was when I was playing. That's how we took advantage of mismatches. Absolutely. Now they take advantage of mismatches out at the top of the key or the wing with an ISO, and you got 600 million dribbles and crossovers and all this shit. Dog, that's not. No, I'm gonna go foul. Yep, foul 30. Yeah, you're not gonna sit there and stand and do that to me all damn day, dog.
The twins.
I love them. My young boys.
Yeah, that's right.
I love them.
Let's go, the twins.
Yeah,
That's right.
For sure, I'm rocking with them beasts. I'm rocking with them. No doubt. They're my young boys.
Dwayne Wade. Now listen, hold on. Don't think about his outfits. We just talk about on the court. All right. You might think about the way that the little ass tight is.
For back then,
spicy fits.
I think he would have held his own too, for the simple fact of his scoring drive. Like he has a high presence to score.
And Wade wanted contact.
And definitely before his little knee injury. Before his knee injury, he reminded me of a kid named, I don't know if y'all remember a young boy by the name of Randy Livingston.
Yeah.
That's who he kind of sort of reminded me of. But D-Wade wasn't a point. He was a two. I mean, Randy was a point, but that athleticism for a guy his size, like, yeah. He's one way or another, he gonna score.
Okay. Let me say this, right? So I know you. We've been, friends for 20 plus high school.
I mean, there we have it right there. I'm gonna cut it short. Make sure you guys tune in to $1 Million Worth of Game. If you're not subscribed to that channel already, these guys normally it's a music-based podcast where they touch on politics, things that are going on in the culture, and they usually have guests on. They before Rasheed Wallace, they actually had King Von on in his last interview before he passed untimely. So make sure you check these guys out, man. They've blown up really fast. Ever since they've started in the podcast game, I really love this platform. I really love watching them. Just to kind of digress from basketball sometimes, this is a breath of fresh air just to watch these two guys use not just their comedic value but their realism in talking about everything that we see in our daily lives or we see in music or politics and things of that nature. So make sure you check them out. But I like what Rasheed Wallace had to say. Again, his opinions are his opinions. His opinions are based on his biases, obviously, and he admitted that. We saw who his top 5 would have been. We saw who his GOAT is. I liked how they dove into the aspect of certain players being soft in his era or not. Now, I definitely disagree with that. I think a lot of these guys could have easily played in the early 2000s or the 90s with no problem at all. But again, I respect him for standing strong on his era. I mean, nobody is going to willingly admit that anybody can just come into their era and dominate or be great. Nobody wants to say or see that. I like how he stood his ground on that. Even with people that he know, whether it's Draymond Green or other guys that he has a good, close relationship with, he was honest about how he felt that they were actually playing his era. Does that mean he's right? No, I don't think he's right about who's the GOAT is. I don't think he's right about players being soft, but I respect the perspective. I respect that he's not going with status quo. As I said earlier, it would have been easy for him just to say Michael Jordan was the GOAT because of the North Carolina connection. He went with what he truly thought were the best selections for whatever questions he asked, and I appreciate those responses. But again, that just simply goes to show you that there is nothing set in stone with regards to any of these lists or rankings that we talk about. We could talk about ranking players all day. We could talk about Jordan being the GOAT. We can continuously try to place LeBron however we wish in the top 10, 2, 5, outside of the top 10. At the end of the day, it's all going to be based on your own biases and preferences. If you're the type of person that just doesn't like player movement, if you don't respect player movement and you don't like these guys teaming up, you're not going to have any respect for the game today and the work that these guys have put in off the court to be great. And that's going to come out in how you talk. So again, it's just about being students of the game, understanding that everybody has their own opinion, understanding where everyone's opinion actually comes from on the game of basketball, and then just respecting it. And that's what I like. I want everybody to have a different opinion. I'm not here to convince you that Jordan is the GOAT. I'm here to listen. If you think someone is otherwise, I'm just here to listen and hear why. Because I'm just here trying to educate myself. You guys seen the merch. For research purposes only. Make sure you go to our merch store and you buy that for research purposes only merch gear. Make sure you guys also check us out on Black Friday. All right. I know I've had a few people talk about the prices, especially on the hoodies being over $40. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk with a few people about lowering those prices, especially on Black Friday. On Black Friday, prices will be getting slashed dramatically in our merch store. So if you're looking to buy FYF Sports merch, all right, expect to see 65-70% discounts on all of the merch in our merch store Black Friday weekend. All right, it's only going to be a 3-day special. So again, if there's any merch that you see in that store, and we're going to be expanding that merch as well to masks, to mugs, anything that you might want, you need that you want related to FYF Sports, you're going to be able to find it in the merch store on Black Friday. So make sure you hit that link in the description, check out the merch store, come back on Black Friday and do some shopping with us. Hey, but other than that, man, it's been a great video. Again, I loved hearing from Rasheed Wallace. Salute to $1 Million Worth of Game podcast for even having him on the show, man. I love hearing that perspective on basketball. There's a lot going on in the NBA right now. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to be bringing that, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're going to be bringing you all of the information on all of these trades, on the draft, on the upcoming NBA season, training camp, NFL news. The NFL's in the second half of their season. I mean, so again, we got a lot of stuff coming up to round out this year. And again, 2020's been a very crazy year. I hate it when another year rolls around. This year feels like a blur, especially with the quarantine that just had everybody stuck in their homes all summer. This year, it almost feels like the Kobe Bryant incident happened just last month. That's how recent it feels. So we're already in November, going into December. I look forward to bringing in 2021. New year, new bigger things to come with this platform. Appreciate the growth that 2021 has given this channel so far, but we look to really exceed all goals that we have for this channel going into next year. So we're going to continue to bring you guys top-notch quality content. We're going to try to continue to bring you the most factually based news. We try to keep our opinions and biases out of everything that we bring to you guys. And make sure you guys start showing up to our live stream. The live streams have been big, man. Our live streams encompass a number of fan bases. We got our Facebook fan base. We got our blog group fan base. We got our website fan base. And of course, we got you guys here on YouTube, all in the same chat. So everything that you type, these guys are talking about it on Facebook. They're talking about it on the blog. They're talking about it on the website. They're talking about it on YouTube. Continuously engage. All right. And if you really want to directly chime in with us, come onto YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the link to join the live panel, and you can really chop it up with us. All right. But it's FYF Sports, man. It's been another great video again. Please, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. All right, we're grinding. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep bringing you top-notch quality content. But until then, it's FYF Sports, and we out.
Razor Wallace seen blood on the lids. Need a Cuckoo 200 and speed. Chamber ice like I left at the fridge. My outfit from overseas. My pockets got cheddar cheese. USD talk American cheese. That pepper jack go that provolone. Stacks of Mama Luciano. Razor Wallace seen blood on the lids. Need a Cuckoo 200 and speed. Chamber ice like I left at the fridge. My outfit from overseas. My pockets got cheddar cheese. USD talk American cheese. That pepper jack go that provolone. Stacks of Mama Luciano. Came up off selling O's. Place called, then I let them go. They pocket watch when you getting dough. Switch sides, me from friend to foe. Built the stress, still full of grit. Easy pain, might roll a leaf. Razor Wallace seen blood on the lips. Cold hearted with my heart on my sleeve. Streets cruddy, niggas hate on your team. Just caught the new 9 with a beam. Rock a bar, put your ass to sleep. Streets cruddy, niggas hate on your team. Trap star, built it up from nothing. Bust down and check, I stayed thumbing. All pockets stay full 100. Try caught the coupe that go 200. Stay icy, new watching the chain. Designer down, stay looking clean. War ready like Wolverine. Act up, keep the gun in my jeans. With the shits and I won't waver. Roll up like raw papers. Drippin' sauce, I be spilling flavor. Maximize the moves I does and major. Take a breather, might slip and fall. Go straight forward, ain't no backing off. Like injuries came back to ball. I'm cemented, you ain't half as hard. Take a breather, might slip and fall. Go straight forward, ain't no backing off. Like injuries, I came back to ball. I'm cemented, you ain't half as hard. Razor Wallace seen blood on the lids. Need a Cuckoo 200 and speed. Chamber ice like I left at the fridge. My outfit from overseas. My pockets got cheddar cheese. USD talk American cheese. That pepper jack go that provolone. Stacks of Mama Luciano. Razor Wallace seen blood on the lids. Need a Cuckoo 200 and speed. Chamber ice like I left at the fridge. My outfit from overseas. My pockets got cheddar cheese. USD talk American cheese. That pepper jack go that provolone. Stacks of Mama Luciano.
Look at the drip when I swag when I walk. Do this shit in the dark. How about the whip? We just jump out, don't pop. All you gon' see is spark. Sippin' this rig, got me pissing it off. I want blood like a shark. I'm just tryna get my bread up. Hustle hard with my legs up. Yeah, my name in the streets, cause we steady running. Bitches eat dick up all night like they hungry. My team getting paper, a whole lot of money. Serving this dope, got a whole lot of junkies. Don't play with me, bitch. I just might slap a nigga in his face. I just might whack a nigga with the tray. Blow out his back, tryna find a way. Like, please. Bro, I got kids, you gotta let me leave. Yeah, I be sitting, still get on my knees. Asking the Lord to help me with my needs. Put faith in my God, but don't go to church. I'm still going hard, cause I like the work. Popping them balls with your in the shirt.
Razor Wallace seen blood on the lids. Need a Cuckoo 200 and speed. Chamber ice like I left at the fridge. My outfit from overseas. My pockets got cheddar cheese. USD talk American cheese. That pepper jack go that provolone. Keep stacks of Mama Luciano. Razor Wallace seen blood on the lids. Need a Cuckoo 200 and speed. Chamber ice like I left at the fridge. My outfit from overseas. My pockets got cheddar cheese. USD talk American cheese. That pepper jack go that provolone. Keep stacks of Mama Luciano.